Hello friends, followers and channel members, welcome to another video here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Today we're going to be checking out a new add-on that has been released for Microsoft Flight Simulator, adding a whole new world of realism to every aircraft that you fly in this beautiful simulator. FSRealistic has been available for X-Plane for some time now, with over 25,000 users using it to enhance their X-Plane experience. This provides much more realistic camera shaking effects, rolling sounds that you would hear in the cockpit environment, and now released for Microsoft Flight Simulator under the title FSRealistic. It is available for you to check out with a 7-day free trial before you commit to purchase. In this video, we're going to check out some of the new features available to us, and we're going to have a look how easy this program is to use and how it enhances our experience in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The program runs as a standalone application and doesn't need to be installed anywhere specifically like a community folder. In fact, don't install it in the community folder, keep it somewhere separate. Once you launch the program, you'll see that it is automatically searching for a connection to Microsoft Flight Simulator. You can turn on the auto start feature, which means that when you launch the simulator, that the program will automatically run. At the moment, I've left this turned off. You've also then got the options to view the manuals, etc., and various other options here. But let's go and launch the simulator and have a look what it has to offer. Now, the program has options to work with any aircraft, be it a small aircraft or a large airliner.
FSRealistic connected.
Once the simulator is connected, you'll hear the audio cue as well, telling you that it is up and working. Now, obviously, the first thing that you will have noticed is the sound of the wind on the outside of the airframe. And of course, I've turned up the simulator quite loud here so that you can actually hear. Going through all these options, you can see there is a vast array of different settings that you're going to be able to go through and tweak. If they've got a blue mark next to them, then they indicate that these are currently active, and you can turn them on and off depending on your preferences. Now, the developers have given you complete control over every sound effect, camera shake, etc. that is available to us in FSRealistic. If we go to that outside wind airframe, we can also get a little preview of each sound before we decide whether we like it or not. I can also turn up and increase the volume or reduce it if I wish. And then when we go to have a look at all the different ones available, you can then hit the preview button up at the top to have a listen. But of course, we're currently sat outside the aircraft as it is at the moment anyway, so we're hearing those firsthand. I would imagine for something like this, leaving it set to random would probably be the most realistic, and we're just going to return that volume back down to its default state for now, which was to 50. Once we jump inside, we're going to be able to experience the different camera and head shaking effects that we get. But obviously, depending on whether you're flying a small general aviation aircraft or whether you're flying a much larger airliner like the A320 or the Dreamliner, for example, there are some things you're not going to want selected. Things like landing claps, for example. You're not going to want those on a small two-seater aircraft, so they would be turned off for a flight of this kind. And one of the great things I like about this is everything that you save is then specific to the aircraft frame that you are flying. So any tweaks I make now when flying this aircraft will automatically be saved. If I then move to another aircraft, the same thing. So I don't have to go in and tweak it each time. Of course, if you mess something up, you can reset to default. But one of the other great things that the developers have got, once you've gone through and tweaked everything to your liking, you can actually upload and share your aircraft profile that you have created up to the cloud for other users to download, adapt, and use. Now, obviously, at the moment, FSRealistic is brand new, so it seems no one has yet created a profile that I could go ahead and use for this aircraft. I could, of course, spend a little bit of time creating one and then upload one for you to use in the future for this aircraft. And I think that's a great way that's going to bring the community together for something like this. Once we go ahead and get moving, then one of the first things that you'll notice, particularly when you add a little bit of power to the engine, is you see the cockpit and airframe vibrations shaking a little bit. Obviously that increases with the more power. So that was the first thing that I noticed, and that's great. And if it's a little bit too much for you, of course, you can then go in and tweak the setting, or if you want it to be quite vibrant, then of course you can go and increase it. And for anyone that's flown a small Cessna or something like that, you'll know that it is quite a noisy and quite a vibrating experience. So that's nice that you can get that added now. So apologies here for the most appalling takeoff, but I'd still got my settings all set up for the Airbus 32NX, and obviously rudder control wasn't right. But what it did give me the chance to do was experience greater cockpit airframe vibrations and the sounds as well, which was quite neat. Once we finally got up into the air, of course, everything settles down just a little bit as the wheels leave the tarmac, and you're free soaring in the air. That was quite a nice experience, to say the least. I'm going to check that out as well, of course, with an airliner in a little while. But yeah, that was nice. All I had to do then was have a little look at bringing the aircraft back in and exploring a few other sounds that you get during your flight time. Now, I didn't want to talk over the top of that, but I did want to show you that when controlling the aircraft in a slightly more aggressive manner than you perhaps should do, you can hear the wind battering the aircraft and the different sounds. So hopefully that captured quite nicely there, and you were able to pick that out. Of course, they're the kind of sounds that you're probably going to hear a lot more in a small aircraft than you would do a much larger aircraft. And again, you can go in and tweak those using the settings, which will then be saved for each individual aircraft's custom profile. Another abysmal attempt to try and land this aircraft coming up in a second now, and you will see that the airframe vibrates all over the place thanks to the new immersion added by FSRealistic. So let's just go ahead and listen to this. And I'm not sure if you could quite pick that up there, but there was some great braking sounds coming through as well. Over to the Airbus 320 then, and obviously this is the aircraft that you will see me flying on live streams more often than not. I wanted to check out how FSRealistic would work with this aircraft, because if, like me, you prefer airliner flying, well, this is where the sounds and camera shaking effects on touchdown, etc., are really going to come into play. So there, hopefully you could hear some great turbulence sounds, and of course if you don't like the particular sound that you were getting, you could of course go in and tweak it. Great thing about FSRealistic. So we can just bring the menu back in, we can check which sort of sound and effect that we want. Now unfortunately I was a little bit disappointed to find there wasn't actually a preview available for turbulence, but that's okay. If we're set to flying through stormy skies, then of course that happens automatically anyway, and I was, to be fair, I was quite happy with everything that I saw and I heard, so that was really nice. Next up, I thought I would check out what the sounds of the spoilers deploying would do in the simulator. And sure enough, hopefully you can hear there is a change in the airframe and the sound of the wind going over the top of the wing. So that was really nice to see as well, particularly if, like me, sometimes you forget you've actually got them out. So that really does help, having that little extra depth to the wind sound. Finally then, I wanted to check out the sound of a landing. Now, because I wanted to see what the camera effects were like and the certain sounds and things, I didn't want to do the most perfect landing in the world. So again, forgive me for this. I was a little bit deliberately off center, then we kicked the rudder right at the end, just so we touched down, not hard, but not the most smoothest butter-filled landing that you're ever going to see. So I'm just going to turn the volume up and allow you to watch this.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
I absolutely love the fact that after that landing we also got a little clap and round of applause from the passengers. Now, I really enjoyed that. I thought that added a lot of immersion to it. You saw the camera shaking when the reverse thrust also came in. You also felt extra airframe vibrations as well. I think FSRealistic is a fantastic program, and congratulations to the team that has brought that now to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Every effect that I have showcased in this video here has been the default setting. I haven't gone in and tweaked anything yet, so you really can go in and get a lot more detail and really fine-tune everything you need for the aircraft that you want to fly. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do hit the like button and leave a comment down below on whether you're going to go and grab that 7-day free trial, and let me know how you get on with the 7-day free trial as well, what you thought about the product and anything you think that could perhaps be improved in the future. Would be really interested to see how you guys get on with that. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video soon. Bye bye for now.